Greetings, my fellow Fright Fiends. It's your buddy Boogeyman Ben here for a new episode of Boogeyman Ben's Horror Zone, and today's video is actually a contest entry. This is a contest entry for my friend Phil. Phil runs the channel Phil's Creepy Vidz. He's an awesome person, one of my favorite people on YouTube. We've become really good friends. He has an amazing horror collection. He's such a generous person. He sent me a really nice box of collectibles, a couple of things that I had been looking for. It was just really nice of him. He didn't have to do that, but he did it because he's a great, kind person, and I wanted to do what I could to support his channel and support this new contest. I'm really happy for him to be hitting the 500 milestone. This contest, in order to enter, you have to be a member of you have to already be subscribed to him, and you have to make a video, and you have to answer 9 questions. So I will be doing that. So, without further ado, let's get started. So the first question is, what is the first memory that I have of being scared as a child? And I've talked about this in other videos, but I'll do it again here. My first memory of ever being truly terrified was the first time I watched the film Salem's Lot. And I'm just going to hold up my little bust of Barlow here. I was 5 years old when that movie came out, and again, it was a made-for-television movie, and it was aired over 2 weekends, so I didn't see the first part of the film, so I saw the second part. There's 3 scenes in that second part of Salem's Lot that really scared me. The first one was Danny Glick showing up outside of Mark Petrie's room and scratching on the window. That scared the fuck out of me. The second part, which I still think is one of the most terrifying scenes ever on film, and that is Mike Ryerson, played by the late great Jeffrey Lewis, in the rocking chair in Jason Burke's house. I still think that scene is absolutely terrifying, and it's just the things that Jeffrey Lewis does with his body. And it's nothing that he wasn't on wires or anything. It was just something that he did with his body. He made himself look like he was floating. Terrifying. And then the scene at the end where they're in the root cellar and they're killing Barlow, and all of the townspeople that have been turned into vampires are coming out of the root cellar into the basement of the Marston house. That scene scared the shit out of me as a kid. But yeah, that is like the first recollection I ever have of being really scared as a little kid. Question number 2 is, who is my favorite horror character? If people know me and have come to my channel for quite a while now, they'll know that Jason Voorhees is my favorite horror character. I absolutely love Jason Voorhees, and I have since I can remember. He is just awesome. He's just the best, and I've talked about him in so many videos, but yeah, Jason Voorhees is my favorite horror film character of all time. Question number 3 is, what is my favorite horror film franchise? And that is Friday the 13th. I absolutely love Friday the 13th. I have many copies of every film, Blu-ray, DVD. I still have some of my videotapes. Absolutely love that film franchise. I have such fond memories of growing up with those coming out every year and looking forward to seeing what was going to happen to Jason next. Yeah, that is the greatest horror film franchise in my opinion. Favorite Stephen King movie is Salem's Lot. Salem's Lot is not only my favorite Stephen King movie, it is my favorite movie of all time. Absolutely love that film. And I'm talking about the 1979 Tobe Hooper directed miniseries, not the one with Rob Lowe. That film is not very good. But yeah, I absolutely love the one that Tobe Hooper did with David Soul, James Mason, Lance Curran, Bonnie Bedelia, Jeffrey Lewis, Reggie Nalder. Fantastic movie. Absolutely fantastic cast, and still one of the scariest movies ever made. Question number 5 was asking about, so we had the remake of It come out in September of this year, and Phil is questioning, do we prefer the original or the new one? Now, I've had a chance to watch the new one, the remake, a couple more times because it was released on digital a couple weeks ago, and I have to say the remake is better. I mean, I do love the miniseries. Tim Curry is still, I think, fantastic as Pennywise. There was a lot they just couldn't do in that television miniseries that they were able to get away with in the movie, and I think that's why the movie just stands out. It's got more edge to it. It's graphic. There's a lot of scenes in that movie that'll just get to you, and I just think it's an overall all-around better film. Number 6 is, what is my favorite video on Phil's channel? So of all the videos that Phil has done, and I've watched every one of his videos, what is my favorite one? And this one was kind of tough because he's done some fantastic videos like showing off like a lot of the statues that he has and the room tour. But I think the two that really stand out to me, because they're two items that I really want, and I thought he did a fantastic job of showcasing them. So I have to say it's a tie, so I hope that's okay. But the video that Phil did on the You're So Cool Brewster, the Fright Night documentary book, which is something I want to get. I have the documentary, but I don't have the book. That was one of my favorites, as well as the Creepshow 2 record, or LP, that was put out by Waxwork. So those are my favorite videos on Phil, and like I said, I kind of have a tie there, so I hope that's alright. Question number 7 is a piece that I do not have in my collection that I really want to have. There is a Jeepers Creepers Creeper statue, and I believe it's put out by Hollywood Collectibles. And I saw it like maybe 4 years ago, and I didn't get it. It was on Entertainment Earth website, and I didn't get it because it was like $300. And now it's like impossible to find. And it's a statue, PVC statue, similar to the Jason ones that I have in the collection, of the creeper with a severed head, and he has crows around him. And I think you can switch his head out for the head where his head extends out. I think you can switch it out for that different head sculpt. And he has his giant axe and everything. It's a fantastic looking statue, and I would love to have it here in the collection. But I have searched and searched and searched on eBay, and I have not seen anybody selling it. And every site that used to have it has completely discontinued it. So it's probably going to be one of those things that's like thousands of dollars now. But if I had the money and if I could find it, that Jeepers Creepers Creeper statue from Hollywood Collectibles would be something I would love to have here in the Horror Zone. Question number 8 is asking what makes me love horror. Sometimes you just start thinking like, what got you into all of this stuff? Where did all of this stuff come from? Why do I love this stuff so much? Growing up, my family always said I would outgrow it. It's something that, was part of my childhood, and it wouldn't be something that I would care about as an adult, but it got stronger as I got older. And I think it's just because, I think as a kid, I was really, really shy. And I really was kind of sheltered. I had a working mother from a divorced family and only child, and I was kind of cooped up. I was kept in the house. I was, somebody that had a wild imagination. I used to love to draw, and I used to love to write stories, and the TV was pretty much my friend as a kid. And the horror stuff, it sort of started with like Scooby-Doo. It started with Scooby-Doo cartoons, the fact that they were chasing down monsters. I really, really got into it with Tom Savini and Rick Baker and Rob Bottin. They could make these horrific things, and they were out of silicone and plastic and things like that. And I was just so fascinated by how they did it that I think it made me curious to watch the movies. And Fangoria magazine was such an accessible magazine to me as a kid. Looking at all that stuff and looking at how they did these effects, to me it was a magic show. I never looked at it like it was violence and being violent towards people. I looked at it like, oh God, how are they making this effect happen? I was fascinated by it. So I think that's where it came from. Initially a love of monsters, and then a fascination with the makeup effects designers, and like, how did they do this magical stuff by making these people look the way they did and having these kills be so amazingly over the top. I mean, I just thought it was fantastic. And then I was in it, and I just consumed horror like crazy, and I've never looked back. Question number 9 is scenario of Jason versus Leatherface, and who would win that fight? I think Jason would win, so sorry, I'm biased. So that is it. That is answering all 9 of your questions, Phil. I want to say congratulations on hitting this milestone of 500. I hope you enjoyed my video, and everyone else has checked my video out. Please go check out Phil's Creepy Vids. I will put a link down below to his channel. Also, let me know what you think about my answers. I appreciate everyone taking the time to watch this. So I hope everyone's doing well. Take it easy. Have a great evening. Stay scared as always.